get messages from 10 weeks ago that the doctor says to come in right away.
That's happened to me, and then I crapped my pants, gone in, and said, "Oh no, we need you to pay us for this form for work."
That's right.
Gordon Stellick, host of Leafs Nation pre- and post-game sports at 5 down at the Fan, NHL and Sports, and Insider for Sicily Honda. Thanks for your time, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Rustick's going to Buffalo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gordy.
Well,
the B-Lo.
Okay. Yeah, that should be great. Wow.
Gonna have some Heinekens tonight. I'm sensing the sarcasm in your voice, Gord.
I guess the show's not going well for him. True.
So let's just get to it real quick, and we'll skate over it. Leafs won 3-1. What do you make of the game?
Well, I'm always big on these games being garbage time, that they're like preseason games, once you're this mathematically eliminated. But in saying that, preseason games, you try to look at, like, say, how Brandon Kozun played this year in preseason before he got hurt, and, positives like that. So I like that they go out and make an effort for the fans that are down there. Let's face it, Tampa blew their load Monday night. That was a big win against Montreal, and it took a lot out of them. But it's good seeing Nathan Kadri. He's a guy kind of getting, not rehabilitated on the ice, but trying to maybe get rehabilitated or bring him to the next level. So I like those positives. I like the way Morgan Riley plays. All in all, I've enjoyed Sam Carrick's play, but Zach Sill when he's played. But, beyond that, the big line got going on Saturday, great. But, it's really all about next year. Yeah.
Riley played great last night. So did James Reimer. I thought he was really solid, really smooth, really calm. But I guess
something. Peter Orchek yesterday morning in the morning skate. He sort of reached a calm place. Okay, it's kind of like somebody who knows they're going to do something drastic themselves. They kind of get an inner peace just before. So he knows his fate, and I've actually enjoyed his good mood and his analysis about the guy. He went out of his way to talk about James Reimer on and off the ice. And Dean and George, this is the first developed goaltender within the system since Felix Potvin. The Leafs have been horrible at developing goaltenders from within, and this guy...
Is that all? Just horrible?
Well, for starters, developing, period. Most of the guys gone elsewhere. But, I've loved this guy's fight. And, we crapped on him because of the third period against the Boston Bruins in that one playoff series. And I think now we're seeing more that over the 48 games and that series as a whole, this guy did a damn good job. And, he may not be a number one NHL goaltender, but that's the makeup and character you want on your team.
Yeah, I agree. Is Jonathan Bernier really expendable? Is he expendable at this point, Gord? Do they really need to hold on to him?
Well, I don't know where you upgrade. I think you can't be afraid and sign him to a big contract. If you take a gamble and it's a one-off and he plays great and you lose him, maybe so be it. The jury still remains out about him being that number one guy, and he just seems to always have like these little tweaks or something's wrong or this, that, or the other thing. So it's what we're talking about, Dean and George, right now is it's a little bit too much hope than reality. And he's one of those guys that you thought you would know realistically if he was or wasn't the number one guy. And right now you're still kind of hoping he's the number one guy, and that's not a place to be. So I don't say get rid of him at all because I don't think other teams think he's the number one guy. So you're not going to really get a lot back for him. But it's those guys that you have to, unless you upgrade it with somebody else, you have to hope that with a better team around him, it means better results.
Would you give him a long-term deal?
No. I think that's where you got to say, okay, we go short-term, and if you hit the big enchilada and say, oh, look, I'm an unrestricted free agent, so what? You made the wise decision at the time, and if he wants to stay, you can negotiate there, because quite often guys do want to stay if the situation's good. I just think you get the fear factor too often. You give long-term deals where you should take a breath and realize how they hurt you if they backfire.
Gordon Stellick, our guest, NHL Sports and Insider for Sicily Honda. Ovechkin scoring 50 for the sixth time in 10 years, is one of four guys to do that. How impressive is Alexander Ovechkin, and how underrated is that mark considering scoring in the NHL this year?
I can remember 2004 at the NHL draft, and Wayne Gretzky was talking before the lockout, and Wayne Gretzky was talking about you never may see another 50-goal scorer again. It was an interesting line, and that's how scoring was so down, and that's one thing that changed with the new rules afterwards. So in Alexander Ovechkin's case, Dean, I I love the way he's kind of reinvented himself. That this Washington Capital team was being handed the Stanley Cup or the Eastern Conference Championship for a few years, and they would always, mainly because of goaltending, disappoint in the playoffs. And it seemed to be his and Crosby's venue. He took a step back, and I give him credit. Barry Trotz, who, he didn't coach this style in Nashville. I've liked how he's assimilated himself with the team and allowed Alexander to, because we thought after that Montreal series a few years ago, he's got that one move and everyone's figured it out. And I would be really leery about playing the Washington Capitals now. It really is a high mark, and he's an exciting guy. I mean, these are the guys that are cut above on the team, and I enjoy watching him play. And I give him all kinds of credit. I thought he was going to be a guy that went down a level, and instead he's come back in spades.
Real quick, I just wanted to get your feeling on the Marlies trying to make the playoffs. Impressions of guys like Connor Brown and William Nylander, maybe even that Brandon Leipzig kid.
Well, again, we were talking about hope with the Marlies, and hoping to make the playoffs is a biggie because that gives them some great valued playoff experience. And what disappoints me is to see that Tampa game last night. Mm-hmm. And 3 years ago, their team, which was then in Norfolk, took on the Marlies in the final. And more of their guys like Tyler Johnson are up in the NHL, and not so many Marlies from that team are up playing for the Maple Leafs. But it still is a way that you want to develop them. And Connor Brown, you talk about, he could be the first rookie scoring leader in the American Hockey League for a Toronto organization since Steve Thomas in 1984 or 85. And that's a real positive. I mean, that if he's that kind of guy coming up, and you get a few of those, that'll be great. But I think too many people have too much hope that a whack of them are going to come up.
Yeah, but can I ask you something? Are the Leafs intentionally keeping some of these guys away, or having a lot of success in the AHL from the NHL because of the situation in the locker room of the team?
Yeah, they are, and that's a smart thing. That's a smart thing. Go down there and thrive, get a ton of ice time, and have some success there on the ice and off the ice. They got into this problem with Kadri about he wasn't going to come up, then he kept coming up when they were in trouble and went back and forth 4 times. I like certain guys just keeping them there, and they come up to stay.
Yeah, as cool as it sounds, guys, you're better off down there because this is crap up here.
But I would still keep George up and down. I keep him on.
Hey, slow down with the up and down, Gord.
Okay. Well, that is a better expression. You know what I mean. The guy's in Buffalo, for God's sake.
Yeah, you can come. You want a road trip? Yeah. You want to go down to Buffalo with George? We'll go down to the Walden Galleria, do some shopping, Gordon?
Well, just get me some Jenny Cream Ale. That'll be fine, okay?
Nice. Post-game tonight with Gord Stellick and Mark Osborne. Thank you very much for taking time out to do this. NHL Insider for Sisley Honda, host of Leafs pre- and post-game, Sportsnet 590 event. Gord, really appreciate it. Have a great day.
We'll do. We'll get Helena Balka type traffic reports for George on the way home tonight.
That'll be nice.
Well,
yeah, just feed them to his phone so he takes it seriously.
Okay, we'll do.
Talk to you later.
See you guys.